Hi, I'm Not Yet Dead, and welcome to Felsbrunn on Farming Simulator 19. So this is it, FS19. I've been playing it for a week now. Got it day it came out, just under a week I suppose. It was Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, I wasn't actually planning on necessarily doing any videos. Lack of time. Wasn't really building the channel much. So I didn't reach the point, but I'm actually quite enjoying this now. It's taken me a little while to get into it. It's a little bit different to 17. There's been reported there's a few bugs, a few things that people are still getting used to. You know, the building placement system, you know, the weeds, things like that. But I started off on Ravenport, quite enjoyed it. It's a nice map, felt a little bit slow. I started that on, is it New Farmer? So I started on the placed farm, was a bit disappointed about the amount of building space you've got around it and everything else. I've spent a bit of time on Estacio Lepancho setting it up, big style. I might do a video on that actually because that was quite fun. I enjoyed that. And then I started on Felsbrunn, and again, this one I wanted to do as farm manager. And actually, I've quite enjoyed it, so I thought I'd do a little video on it. I may or may not do any more, I don't know. I'm going back to work soon, so I'm going to have a bit less time. So I certainly won't be doing any regular videos. Put a sandcastle in, because right on the river, so felt right to put a sandcastle in, and the kids loved it. It's a very good sandcastle. Crikey, I wish I could do sandcastles like that. Anyway, but yeah, so it's evening, first day. This is just, you know, first day on the map. And yeah, I thought I'd talk through what I've done to get started. So if you don't watch Jim Bob Plays Games, do. I hadn't been watching his for a while, I'll admit, but I have been a subscriber of his for quite a long time, and I watched his first day on Felsbrunn. I've got hooked on that series now. I think this is a beautiful map. It's really well done. Ravenport's nice. It's okay. But I think Felsbrunn has just got that little edge in terms of the design, the feel, something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was doing US maps on 17. I just fancied a change. Not sure, but either way. But I mean, in both maps, all the maps are great. The level of detail they've gone to now is just astounding. You know, the graphics quality's brilliant. Still not so sure about the level of contrast that they've used. I know there's all this lighting and stuff, but the contrast just seems too high to me, and you don't seem to be able to adjust it, which I think is a bit of a shame. It could do being a bit more muted. Just, you know, even in the middle of the day, you can just get, it's just bits too dark. I mean, like right now, I can't see inside that Mahindra, despite the fact that technically it's in full sun. It just feels a little bit, yeah, odd. Anyway, I just jumped in the Mahindra, driven over here. I'm not sure why I did. I was just too busy talking, not really thinking. So I just thought I'd talk through what I've done to get started. So if we have a quick look at the map for a second. Map's huge. All these maps to me seem really big. I don't know if they are bigger than the standard maps used to be, but they seem big. Loads of detail, loads of stuff going on. Yeah, so I mentioned Jim Bob. So if you've not watched his series on Felsbrunn, I well recommend it. I recommend all his videos. He's really good. And I watched his, he had a very interesting take. So I was already looking up here as a place to start, if only because I really fancied, so we go on to lands. Yeah, so I thought I'd buy that, field 2, because I thought I quite fancied the idea of building across this bit here and having a view across the valley from the farmhouse. I thought that would be quite a cool thing to do. As it happens, it would be a really expensive thing to do if it's even possible, because it's so up and down, undulating terrain here. May not even be able to do it. I haven't tried it. And I saw Jim Bob, and he's put his farm here, and actually it's really good. It's a really good place to put it. But I thought, well, I don't want to put it in the same place. That'd be a bit dull. But there are a few. So I got the Mahindra. That's partly why I've got the Mahindra. There's a good big space here around field 5, but it's a bit sort of out of the way. And I just had a good drive around the map and tried to spot areas that I thought could be okay for building. And, you know, you could do that. You know, there's area at the side of field 10, It's not as flat, but it's not bad. Obviously, it's the area where you would have your farm if you played in New Farmer mode. This area around here is a little bit on the hilly side, a bit slopey. There's a sort of flattish area around here. But then I came down here, and this section just right next to the river, you know, you're not far from the animal dealer, you're not too far from the shop, you've got the train station mill there, spinneries there, port southeast, all the sell points are all sort of down here, apart from the grain mill. There's the railroad silo east, you know, you're right on the sort of main roads. You've got railroad silo west is right here. It's a reasonable location, but it's really, really flat. And I looked at this, so there's this, I can't do it now because of course I've already bought it and it just shows us all mine. There's this area, so first I went for this area here. I bought this, nice grass area. I thought that's a perfect place to build a farm. And we'll have a little drive around. So this is the area. It was grass, okay, ignore the field, this was all grass. But actually, as I saw, after I sort of bought it, and I thought, but there's nowhere, there's no road access, you know, there's no little track or anything off. You basically have to drive over the curb every single time to access your land. So actually what I then did was I looked at field 15 next door, which of course ultimately I would have bought anyway at some point, and actually it does have a little track into the field. So I thought, aha, so I had this idea. Switch the engine off. So what I've done is, rather than building on this, I've ploughed it out. I leased a plough because, and actually I should have done this already, if we look at the kit I've got, sorry I'm bouncing around a little bit, I bought the Combi Plough Gold 4 metre, the Agrisem. It's a 4 metre, it's a subsoiler, and at 4 metres a nice square. I thought for ploughing out a field that would be brilliant, it would be much easier to get it accurate, etc. But it turns out, or at least you can't with this one, turns out you can't create a field with a combi plough. So although it says you can use it instead of a plough, it doesn't give you a create fields option, which needless to say was a little bit disappointing. So I have instead leased the Agromass, oops, sorry, wrong thing. I've leased the Agromass. It needs slightly more power than I've got with the Deutz, with the Fendt rather, sorry. But it's done an okay job. And actually on that, so if we go, just run through my kit. So I bought the Fendt Favorite 515C, pretty reasonable, powerful tractor. I upped it to 150. You know, you can put all the wheel options on it and all that sort of stuff. It's a great tractor, and I like the fact I've got a couple of older tractors to start with, because I love this Fiat 1300. I had to get one of these on this map. I've got one in the US as well, but it had to be done. I bought the Mahindra Retriever to start with just because, well, A, the kids insisted on it, and B, because I just needed something I could get around the map, and I was outvoted between getting this and the old pickup. I've got the Strautmann currently as a bale trailer. That's the flatbed that's sitting at the store with the rest of the fertilizer pallet that I bought. I've got the Combi Plough, I talked about that. I've got the Hardy Mega 2200. Well, I'll go and look at these in a minute, which is why I've got a bit of fertilizer left, because I bought 2, so the rest I just put onto the thing. I bought the Pottinger Nova Cat and the Strautmann loading wagon because what I did, and then I've got the stall, we'll talk about that in a second. I've got the stall and the stall pallet fork and the Fendt weight, and I bought a shed and of course a sand castle. Those I've tried to colour to match tractor, but I just can't seem to find the right green to match this tractor, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, so we'll finish ploughing this out. Wrong one. And but yeah, so what I did before I started ploughing this out, trying to get maximum for out of my fields, was I mowed out the grass. I've missed a bit. Have I missed a bit? Yeah, I have. I mowed the grass, collected it up, and I sold it at the barn. I didn't get a lot. I probably got less than I paid for the equipment to do it, but I'll use that equipment again anyway. Oh, is it switched off? Have I lost the... That's a bit weird. Oh. Okay, must be because it switched create fields off. Must be because I had to exit the game. Okay. Right, don't need that anymore. So I mowed all of this area, and I'll do some more as well, obviously, but I just focused on this area for now, just to get the just the bit that I wanted to plough out. So you can see there's sort of a mown line around the edge of the field. So I tried to get it, you know, cover up as much, or mow up the grass as much as I could from the area that I was about to plough out. And yeah, I sold that at the barn. I only got about 1,500 a load, so I got about 4,500, so less than the equipment I bought, but I will use that equipment again. You know, I didn't see the point just ploughing the grass in. I thought I might as well mow it first. I could have done it as silage bales, but I've been doing silage bales in Ravenport, so I thought I'd give that a miss for now. And plenty more to do. Still got all that area as well that I can get the grass off. So yeah, so the plan now, so rather than building on this bit, which is what I was going to do to start with, I'm going to keep that field that I've bought next door. Just making sure I'm at risk of missing a bit. No, okay. And I think is it canola it's got in it or something. And I've fertilised it. That's why I bought the fertiliser, to get the fertiliser levels up. It needs to need another one at some point actually as well. And I'll get the crop. I'll get the crop out of it, and then I will either delete the field, or I will just seed it over with grass and then build on it. I'll probably just seed it over with grass and then build on it, because then, you know, later on I might move somewhere else, and then I've still got the field without having to recreate it, sort of thing. So yeah, so I'll seed it as grass, and then that's where I'll have the bulk of my yard. It might be at some point that I'll do the same with this. I might expand and put animals here or something, but you know, for now I'll see how much I can get into that space and still make it, you know, usable, workable. And yeah, but I thought I might as well get the crops off it first. So in the meantime, I've ploughed this out so I can get a crop in here, and then in the meantime I've got a field that's got crops in it. So you can see there I've got 417,000. That's, you know, think about it, this was a relatively cheap area of land that we're in now. It was, I think it was less than 200 grand. The other field was 200 and something odd. I can't remember exactly how much. Actually should be in our finances, no? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that part of that 1,250,000 that you start with was part loan. I had no idea. Oh yes, there you go. Land purchase 515,000. Okay, so yeah, they were quite sizable. So maybe the field was 285 and this one was 230 or whatever. But yeah, something like that. I built my shed, 12 grand, which gives you an idea. So I mean, even that's pretty flat land, but building that shed would still cost me 12 grand, whereas the building's only worth 9. So, you know, that was a fair amount. And yeah, 308,000 on new vehicles. That's where my money's gone. I had no idea we'd already got a loan. Grief. So before the end of the day, definitely want to accidentally. In fact, why don't I do that now? I'm going to pay that back. I'm not planning on making any more major purchases today, so I may as well pay off the loan so I don't get hit with interest overnight. I can always get another loan out tomorrow. Wow. Suddenly only 167,000. Ouch. But hey. So, get a tractor off the field. Now what I had noticed, and I'll show you that in a minute. So if you look at the line, I haven't got it quite right. It does undulate a little bit on that edge, but I've tried as much as I can to keep to that. There's a sort of a ridge running around the edge of the field as it goes up to the road, and I've tried to run it in line with that. Not overly successfully, I don't think, but still. So that's that. So I'll contact the store and get them to come pick that up. And what I'm very pleased to see is that because I've created a field, I've got one of these little field info boxes. I'm quite impressed that it does that as you create your own fields. That's pretty cool, actually. So fair play on that. And actually, and it took me a while to figure this, to realise that it had done this. But if I look in here, it's showing me a new field on the map. I can't remember whether 17 did that or not. I really don't remember whether it did that or not, but it does on here, and it's telling me it needs a lime, so I'll need to get a lime thing. As you can see, what's the growth stage of field 15 now? I think it's worth me getting a second lot of fertiliser on there, but I'll have to go and change the tyres to narrows on the Fent to do that. I have to use the Fent, not the Fiat, because I need a front weight, because it's really heavy, that thing. So I will have to go up to the store. I suppose I could go up to the store. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do that? I'll drive up to the store. We'll chat a little more on the way. I'll take this back. I'll get some sort of lime spreader. And I'll change over to the narrows, and then I'm ready to do that. So I'll need to do that before I call it a day. Of course, I can't actually, I don't have a bed. This is going to be messy, because I'm going to get, this plough's just going to catch on everything. I'm going to knock, I will knock signs over, almost certainly. What I'll do is I'll drive down the middle of the road until I can't. See if I can remember the way back to the store. I've done the trip and back a few times now. But yeah, I do love this map. I was slightly underwhelmed. I wouldn't say underwhelmed, I don't know. It took me a while to get used to the graphics and this really high contrast. But you say that, but then you look at the detail of the shadow. You know, being caught by the sun. And that as you're driving along, the level of detail and the number of buildings. I mean, this feels like a really nice little hamlet, town, village, whatever you want to call it. I've had to drive through the centre. It's really good. You know, the moving ships that they've done on the river. It's a river, I don't know. This map is just amazing, and actually it might mean that once I haven't played Ravenport for a couple of days, so it might mean that once I go back to Ravenport that actually I'll go, actually, you know what, I'm kind of used to it now. I didn't play it for a couple of days. I had a couple of busy days, and maybe I just needed that bit of time away to come back to it and go. But yeah, it's fair to say at first I was a little bit but I'm getting used to it. So we got a little shop there, which I'm assuming will be used for delivery missions. There's a petrol station on the right there. This brilliant roundabout just looks absolutely incredible, and that's things, the little cobbles there on the road, on the roundabout. You know, the level of detail on these maps is astounding. Pity we don't have reflective beacons, but hey, I'm playing on console. Make that clear. But yes, I am enjoying this map without question. There we go, at the store. I've got some contract machinery here as well, so we'll go and finish that contract actually. So if I drop this off here, there we go. Yeah, a little bit annoyed that I couldn't plough out my field with the combi plough, but hey, no point in me repairing it. Thank you very much. Oh, I did mean to. Oh, that was a bit silly. I forgot. I did mean to show. I'd noticed that there's the damage on the blades of the plough. You know, scratched off the paint. Actually, it's going to get confused. It's going to pick the weight first. It was just weird things. Just drop the weight off for a minute. Switch this to narrows. It's had them before, so there shouldn't be a cost. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. Here we go. Standard twin. No, next one that way. Yep, no price. Perfect. Excellent. Actually, you know what? While we're here, because of course I don't have a garage yet, may as well repair it. Busy old day ploughing that field. Took some doing actually with a 2.4 metre plough. Right, 2.5 metre, whatever it is. Okie dokie, yep, so there's my Strautmann sitting ready with my other fertiliser tank. I just haven't got around to taking it back yet. So just nip over to the store while we're here, and we can get, now then, is that in, I haven't done liming yet, is that in here? That's that symbol, isn't it? Okay. Oh wow, more money. Oh, but that's cool. 9,000, 11,000, 14,000. How's that do to the price? Oh, not very much at all. Look at that. Only an extra 750 to add an extra 5,000 litre capacity. Oh, yes, thank you. Standard, narrows. I've already bought a sprayer, so for now I'm only going to need it for liming. Spreading discs or a 6-metre spreading unit. How much extra is that? Ooh, that's expensive. Extra 8 grand, and it doesn't change the width, so you know what? It will do as it is. Thank you very much. And I think then we will also need, is it pallets? What to, no, it must be in big bags. Wow, I've no idea how much I'm going to need, but I may as well fill it. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I just make it up to? 14,000, right? 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oh, with its thing open, brilliant. Because it's got a big, it's got a pallet next to it. Oh, that looks amazing. I know we had it on 17, but you've got to say the models are just that much sharper. Looking very nice. Right. Well, I'll get this filled up, and then actually I think what we'll do while we're here, I'll get this filled up and ready. Then what we'll do while I'm here, as I'm here, so what I've also done, because I noticed when I was doing my little tour round that there were a couple of fields that had cotton in, so I was waiting for a cotton harvest contract to come up. So when it did, I started it. Right, next one, assume that'll start filling, yeah. I also love, and I don't think it did this on 17, the fact that when you are filling up machines, don't bother, that it puts power on the engine, which I'm assuming is realistic. Whether it is in every single, but you know, presumably when you're filling the device. I know I should be doing this with the front forks, but I forgot to bring them. Yeah, when you're filling the device, presumably it does take some power up while it's being filled to sort itself out. So it's a nice little touch. I'm pretty sure it didn't do that in 17. But anyway, yeah. So so cotton harvest came up. So I've done a lot of it, but I thought I'd, you know, something new again. So I thought I'd finish that off on screen. And yeah, we'll finish talking about what the plan is for the for building up the farmstead. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so here we are in the John Deere 6135, just coming up. I'm not sure if that's my turn or not, my junction, if it's a change of road or not, but indicating anyway. Yeah, just coming up on field, is it 24 we're doing? Yeah. So I've grabbed the, oh, and I can't remember what this is called. Could be on here somewhere. That's right, the 4-module. I think it's a Lizard, isn't it? Cotton trailer. I know people have, like, there's been a lot of fuss about John Deere being in the game. Some people say, well, it's just another different type of tractor. But actually, to see them now in the game, to be able to drive them, I'm not a massive John Deere fan. They're great tractors. You see them a lot around on the roads. It's really nice to see them in game, though. And you know, especially for those of us on console, it's something a bit different. So I'm quite pleased. It just adds to the variety. Get rid of that banner, can't we? They look really good, and I shall look forward to using more of them. I love the fact we've got proper cable connections now. The cables don't just appear and disappear. They hang there ready. Looking forward to using stuff that needs pipes connected from tanks and all this sort of stuff. And here is our Case Module Express cotton harvester. It's a funny machine, and I gotta say, driving this from the store around these narrow roads, not easy. It's very wide at the front. The steering is just bizarre, because it just sort of goes around all over the place. So yeah, that took a bit of doing. Now, am I gonna manage this last long strip here? Turn it on and watch the animation. I'll try and show it as we go along. But you can see that sort of, I guess that's going down and compressing the cotton, is it? To, you know, push the bale down. You can see the sort of auger pipes going through. Can't get any sort of in it, unfortunately. If I lower the, notice lowered the front. Okay, I left it lowered. And there, even through the top, you can see the cotton going. I'm just going to hold the camera to make sure I get the right line. Yes, you can see the cotton going in, being sort of blown in and then propelled along with the auger pipes. I might just, oh, I missed a couple of bits, but no, I missed a couple of bits of the field anyway, so frankly. Yeah, you can see it going in, and then now and again, that sort of whole frame with the pipes on it sort of drops down. I'm assuming that's compressing it, compacting it into the sort of bale or the module, I think they're called, the cotton module. Quite impressive, I have to say. I think the animations on all the machinery, they picked up a lot. I love that, you know, we've got all of the machines now have dashes that illuminate, that they've got information screens that, you know, and the lighting on them, some of them is just astounding. I mean, you know, first time that I realised that when you start to Fent, and I'm going to mess this up, aren't I? Yep. You start the Fent and you get all the ignition lights come on the dash when you first start it up. It's impressive. It is impressive. And, you know, it's something that some modders have been doing that sort of stuff for a while now, but you know, Giants are picking up on it and going, well, we can add that in, we can make that a base game thing. You know, there's some problems with this. I was watching Jim Bob, he's had problems with weeds coming up overnight. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. If you don't weed your fields before you go to sleep, then you'll get 2 stages of weed growth overnight. Seems a little extreme. And then you've no choice but to spray them, which is not ideal. You know, you've then got to go and get another piece of kit, or you've got to get the right spray or whatever. I'm going to go and grab those couple of little bits because I've missed a couple of bits elsewhere. Yeah, the whole thing about not being able to plough it through with a subsoiler, I mean, okay, technically it's not a plough, but it does say you can use it as a plough, so you should be able to plough out a field with it. You know, little things. They're little things, for the most part. The only thing that really bugs me is the contrast level. I still think it's too high. Maybe they'll be able to fix that, or maybe they'll put a, you know, some people may not find that. That could be a personal thing. So maybe they'll, you know, what they could have done really, and it's pretty standard in most games these days, is make that adjustable. So you can choose your contrast and the brightness levels, and then, you know, you can sort of tweak it to your own personal preference or your own screen. Maybe it's just my screen, but I have heard a few other people mention the contrast problems. But yeah, on the whole, that's good. I haven't tried horses yet. I did put a chicken coop in. That's quite cool. The chickens are a bit more interactive again than they used to be. You have to buy them, you have to feed them, you have to clean after them. That you get eggs in egg boxes. I like that. I do like that. Yes, I know. So yeah, I think on the whole it's good. I know that I did have a bit of a whinge last week, and I guess again perhaps coming back to it now after a little while, little time off. Hello, Pussycat. Is better. It was bugging me that we were getting stuff that really should have been in the base game that was being released afterwards. So when I first started playing on the first day, and I didn't have a separate bale wrapper, so I couldn't get the cheapest baler. I had to get the most expensive baler because I needed the one with the built-in wrapper. The fact that the Ursus 8 bale self-collecting trailer wasn't in game straight away and we had to wait a few days for that, just, you know, a little bit, you know, they're niggles, right? They're just niggles. But then there's some really cool stuff that we have got in, like the Strautmann. I love that Strautmann, the little base trailer. It's so flexible. You know, that once you've built it up and paid for it to be at its highest capacity and with a cover, you've got a trailer that can be huge or can be small or can be a small bale trailer, just to move a few pallets or a few bales around. It's brilliant. It's one piece of equipment that does everything, and once you've built it up once, it's free to change it back and forth. I mean, that's just fantastic. What a great piece of kit. I do quite like Strautmann anyway. Quite pleased there's a lot more stuff, more of their stuff in the game this time round. But yeah, yeah. Plus there's also that little bit, you know, that those of us that play Farming Simulator incessantly, you know, we all got used to 17 and how it was, and it was a massive leap from 15. So, you know, you just sort of get used to things how they are, and it can be a bit of a challenge to change, but there's loads of benefits in the new game. And we're nearly finished with our first cotton harvest. It's kind of fun. I don't think it's a huge payout, this one, but it's not too bad. But yeah, I did say I'd talk a little bit more about the thing, and I've forgotten already what I talked about. I did have a slight recording issue earlier, so that was the second time I'd recorded it. Well, let's just get this done. Let's focus on this. So, harvest is done. We've got our module bale in there, 13,000 litres. So, if I understand correctly, I'm assuming it's just unload, right? Yep. So, L1 and triangle. Let's move forward, let that come out. Strangely enough, suddenly it's a full, I suppose, yeah, okay, so suddenly it is, although it's only 13,000 litres, it is a standard size cotton module. Right, so let's do that, that's done. Fold that back up. Clearly I leased this equipment, by the way. Here we go. Right, let's see how this goes now. I'm going to try and do this without the menu on, but I may need the menu on. So I'm assuming, I sort of do the reverse operation, so I'm assuming it's L1 and triangle. I suppose it could be on a square, sort of turn it on. Not really sure. That's not quite going to work, is it? No beacons on there, which is a little bit disappointing. No, it's not L1 and triangle. L1 and square, there we go. Sort of sucks it on, alright, because then we've been a bit further back then, but never mind. L1 and square to go down. Now then. And we need to take this to the spinnery, which actually isn't too far away. Straight down the road. Turn right at the lime station, port southeast, and then left at the roundabout, and it's just round the corner. Perfect. Let's do it. As I say, absolutely love the interior of these. Love that the pedals move. You know, you'll see in a minute if I brake. Got linked brakes. Actually, that one's not linked. You know, put it into reverse to go backwards. Put it into forward to go forwards. I also noticed, though, a lot of the tractors, this must be a John Deere thing, a lot of the tractors have the sort of similar sort of clicky indicator sound as was from 17, but the John Deeres have this sort of beep, which I find quite interesting. Is that a clock? Doesn't look like it because it's not right. They have a slightly different sound, which is great. I'm assuming it's the John Deere, you know, that's what your indicators sound like if you've got a John Deere. I've never been in a John Deere, so I don't know. But yeah, it's just another nice little, you know, detail thing. Immersion. But yeah, I love these illuminated dashes. they just look fantastic. They really do. So yeah, it's 6:10, end of my first day. I haven't got a house. I'll have to rough it in the tractor overnight till I've got, you know, till that land's ready for me to build on once I've harvested my crops. I don't know if I'll lease or buy a harvester. I might just lease to start with, I'm not sure. Yeah, actually I don't know. No, I might buy one. I'll just get that old New Holland, which again, I love it. Another old... I'm not necessarily a major fan of old tractors as such. One or two I do really like, but I do like, you know, that we've got the old Fendt Favorite as a starting tractor, that we've got this Fiat, and the old New Holland harvester I really like as well, so I'll probably get that one. Now, where are we going? How far along is the spinnery? So it's here somewhere. Whereabouts? Oh, is that it there? I'm assuming so. I can't quite read what that says. Yep. I guess that's what that is. Streising, sorry. Sure looks like it. Oh, okay, now to unload, that just tips it up and then you have to do unload separately. Okay. And it's gone. Contract on field 24 finished. So how about... I'm not going to return the... Actually, I think it might be easier to drive around. Just drive around the spinnery. Actually, can I get out that way? That's probably the easiest way back. Save me turning around completely. Can't see anyone coming that way. I've got room to pull out. Yep, I do. I'm finding in cab a bit easier. I'm also finding it a bit easier to look and drive at the same time, although they need to fix the y-axis thing inside and outside because they're different and it's really confusing me. But yeah, I'm finding it a lot easier to do in cab. It seems a lot easier to look separate to your steering, which I could never really quite get very smoothly on 17. Have I come the right way? Yes, I have. Please tell me I've come the right way. I think so. Oh no, I might not have done. Oh, hang on. Have I? Uh-oh. Taking a wrong turn. Oh no, I did. I've taken the wrong turn. Or have I? Hang on, I'm really confused where I am now. No, I haven't. Ah, different roundabout, that's why. Okay, fair enough. Whew. As it happens, it's the right road to come back to the store the other way. Good. What was I saying? Yes, I'm finding in cab driving a bit easier than it was. Which is nice because it means you can take advantage of those great details inside the illumination and everything else. So we will come back here, drop this off, and if I now go in to the menu, contracts, complete. And there you go, £1,800, €1,800. It's a lot of work for €1,800, but it's worth it. Try out some of the new equipment and do a cotton harvest. Right. Well, I'll briefly see you back up at, well, I would say the farm, at my fields, in a minute. So I've just dropped off the Fent and the lime spreader, ready to do that new field of mine. I'm just driving up the road in the Mahindra back up to my sort of shed. I would say my farm, but it really isn't yet, not by a long shot. Yeah, it's 6:20 in the evening. Probably time to wind down. At least I've got a restaurant next door. So yeah, as I said, so this will be my sort of driveway into the farm. This little path, which is nice to have that off the road, so at least it looks like it should have been there. I may move this shed ultimately, but it fits beautifully into this space, just in this little corner next to that house. I had a word with the owner. He said it was fine for me to put it there. They've still got a good view to the river, so they don't mind. I've said when I can I'll put some trees in just to shield it a little bit, but I may end up moving it anyway. And if you've not watched Jim Bob yet, then as I say, I do urge you to go do it, because what he did when he set up his farm was he actually put a few of these down, and it created him a concrete base, which on then he could put all of his other buildings. So I may do that, and just sort of build and expand the yard as I need to, but at least to get the house down, a few storage areas, perhaps a silo, that sort of stuff. But of course, as I said, not until this canola's ready and harvested and I've grassed it all over and the grass has grown. So we're looking a couple of days away yet. But if I get time, I'll do a bit of a video on that. I don't want to show exactly what Jim Bob did, because you should go and watch his video to do that. He's done that. He did a really good video on that. I don't want to copy what he's doing, but it was a great idea, and I just I want to take his idea and use it somewhere else. But I quite like being next to it. I was quite keen for a mountain view, but I quite like being next to the river. But yes, and I'll also mow up all of the other grass around here. I've already done a strip along, but I'll do all the other grass that I've got both around this field and between the two fields now. Get that limed, get a second load of fertiliser on here, and well, I'll have to kip down in my tractor overnight. I haven't got a farm. I can sleep in a hotel or something. But anyway, a rather longer episode than I expected. I hope you've enjoyed this, my inane rambling on, and first little video on FS19. I might do some more. I might do a video on what I've done on Estancia La Pacho, actually. I really wanted to trial out the placeable system, so I used the new cheat, the money cheat. I know I wouldn't normally, but I didn't do Estancia La Pancho specifically on FS17 because it was so huge, so slow to get going. So I've done it on here instead, and got a load of money to start with, so I can start a bit bigger. But I'll still gradually build up the machinery as I go along. But I've placed all of the placeables from the word go. So, and that was an interesting challenge, trying to fit all those in. So I might do a video on that as well, just to show you what I've done, in case you find it interesting or useful. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this first video on FS19. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet and you'd like to, please feel free. I have no idea how many more videos I'm going to be able to do on this, how often I'm going to be able to do them, but I may do a few here and there. I may do some live streams as well, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, if you don't subscribe and you'd like to, please feel free. Otherwise, drop us a comment, let me know any thoughts, how you're getting on with FS19 if you've got it already, what your thoughts are on some of the challenges, some of the issues, or what you like about it. There's lots of good things as well. It's not just, it's a mixed bag, let's say. On the whole, I think it's really good. And yeah, otherwise, I shall likely see you back here on Felsbrunn very soon. Bye bye for now.